The only reason I know about this janitor, yeah, the janitor is kind of his vehicle has blood all over it, and no one can find him. I think it was him.
I want to make it to bulldozers. I know what to do first. First, let's see how good it walks.
You had the launch, and you don't know which one to play first now.
You found your daddy a big bucket kit?
Something.
It's going in circles. What the heck?
Look out! Stability error.
Try this again.
Self-diagnostic. Initiate. I am Vision shut down.
Hello guys. So this is a video talking about the Robosapien V2. As many people know, they never work because they all have faulty wiring, which falls apart and then the wires touch and it causes the robot to smoke and short out. So you're probably thinking it's hopeless, that you'll never get one that works. Well, there are a few options. The black one with the silver, it's encoded compared to all the other models have black shoulders with the color. He's completely inverted. He's black with silver. He's known as a third generation. He was made at the same time as they were making the RS Media. He has the same identical parts besides the digital technology part. That's why he has good wires, because they used good wires on the Media. And back in 2013 I was making a video showing that they have good wires, but people thought it was just full of shit, or it was just because the robot was too new to have that problem yet. But I've had 3 black V2s, none of them have had bad wiring. My friend Project Nova Zero, Anthony, he's had about 5, none of those have had bad wiring. I've had another friend who's had 2, they don't have bad wiring. None of them have bad wiring. As well as they make a pearl white too. If you see a V2 that isn't really yellowed, that's a shiny white, that's also a 3rd generation that has good wires. But they do have problems of their own. Still, don't be fooled. That's my 3rd black V2. This blue one back here actually used to be one of my black V2s. But I switched out with white shells and then I accidentally fried it because I mixed the boards together and smoke shot out of it. Because the boards are a little different, the functions are placed in different spots on the board. Seth is just watching me. You made me lose thought of what I was saying.
Sorry, I just didn't know any of that good stuff.
Alright. Anyways, yeah, I smoke shot out of it, so it has a regular Robosapien V2 board. Kevin fixed it. And it's blue again because this blue Robosapien V2 I got in 2009, the wires lasted all the way until 2011 or 12. That's when it started failing. And I got scared because I thought the black V2s and all my medias were going to have that issue until I found out, I opened them up and found out the wires never went bad. They do stuff on their own when you leave them alone. But I'll show you what I mean about the black V2's problems. That one was actually, this one's leg was originally never broken. I swapped the pieces out because this one's board just automatically died. It used to like freeze up all the time when you tried to make it dance or walk. It would still do the audio, but you had to keep using it for it to stop glitching. And then one day it was starting to move slow, and then it was moving fast, and then it just died completely. All it does is when you put batteries in, his head twitches because it has a broken neck gear, but it doesn't do anything besides that. But yeah. The leg snaps off on these black V2s and the pearl whites. They have to, I'll tell you a little bit how these can be fixed in a second here. The second problem these have is that the neck gear breaks, usually when you do the spare change function. There's a glitch that happens with the sliding board, because if there's a, actually I'll show you, I have a sliding board here. No, okay, I think you guys will kind of see what I'm talking about here.
What was that? Someone there?
This is a sliding board. There's a part, this part here slides across the board, and it registers. It knows how far the head is. It puts the head back into position and makes sure it doesn't go too far, because on those black and white and even the RS medias, that's one of the most common problems with RS media. If the head goes too far and that does not stop it, it's going to break a gear tooth, and the head is going to be broken. It's just so then, since there's two powerful springs pulling the head forward, the head will turn and that'll snap back like that. This is a parts V2 to fix them. Yellowed V2s are not really worth rewiring unless you absolutely have to, because they usually half the time shatter during shipping. They're very junky V2s. The inside bodies are usually yellowed and they shatter in the process of fixing too. So like I said, they're really good for parts, for fixing RS medias. I know the earlier V2s, parts are a little different than the medias and the 3rd gen V2s. But they're still similar and you can still find a way to make it work.
World domination plan initiated.
Because that blue V2 now has the leg, these for the legs, the shafts that they go on are different sizes. But you see, like I said, that blue V2 used to be a black, which was a 3rd generation. There's only 2 colors. They only released 2 colors when they were making the medias. They were the new and improved, revamped version. But they also are programmed a little different. They dance smoother, they walk a little different, because the programming for the body when it moves side to side is a little different than the others. They don't really lift their feet off the ground when they walk. They walk really well. Like they're the best dancing, like when their legs move in the dance, because they move a lot, whereas the other ones only move slightly in the dance. But the other V2s, when they walk, they actually lift their feet off the ground. It's just the way they're built and because of what I just said. But anyways, yeah, he has leg pieces from an old V2. And the board from an old V2, but the inner body is from a 3rd gen V2. Oh yeah, and here's what I mean about the faulty wiring. Here. See how they fall apart? If you touch them, look at your fingers, they come off. They all come off and it shorts. This one came shattered in shipping. But yeah, see? This red one actually still needs rewiring. I tried, I used a paint liquid that's supposed to seal the wire, and it started failing after a few days. Because I didn't remove see, look at this, it's all flaking off, and the reason it's flaking off is because I didn't remove the bad insulation underneath before I painted the stuff on. So the stuff is coming off with the wiring still. It just needs a professional rewire. And that's what leads me, if you can find a black or white V2, because they are hard models to find, especially since everyone's after them because they know they're the only ones that work. All other V2s in the US and Australia have bad wiring. The UK, we always thought they all had good wires.
Calm down and no one will get hurt.
Until a few days ago, I bought a 9th RS media off a seller from the UK that didn't work at all. They said they never overpowered it with an adapter. They put it away, they took it out, just never started working. They said it probably has the same issue as the RS V2s, but they don't. He assumed that though. And so he's in the UK, so his V2 has bad wiring. So, I mean, I think it's half and half. Half of them in the UK have bad wires, half in the V2s in the US have good wires. So this red V2 actually has a circuit board of a UK media, because the UK medias have a different board in them. The bulldozer is different, the high five is different, the fart movement is different. His his dance is more high pitch and you can hear the background music, and at the end of the dance he goes side to side. It resets his body position so his spring holders don't break, because that's a bad problem. These spring holders can break and then they'll be like this and they won't be able to walk or do anything because those springs are so tight in there. One of my black V2s, it was actually that one. The spring part actually snapped, not the screen holder. My blue ones, my original red one screen holder broke, and my original blue one screen holder broke in 2010. No, 11, sorry. My original red V2 never had a moving leg the whole time I had it. So you'd think the wires were shorting it out. But the thing is, my red V2, I got in 2010, not this one, this is my second one. Chris now owns the shells for my original red V2. And I have his shells from his white. And his V2 actually has the board from my original blue. And it also, never mind, I'll get into that later. But the red V2 that I had, it lasted a whole year. And then the screen holder broke first. Actually, the wires never got bad on it until I just started parting it out and using it for parts, because once I got the black V2s, I parted both those well, actually no, I had him working longer just without the screen holders, and the wires weren't immediately bad yet, and his gear and his foot was broken, so that I fixed that later on with the red V2's gear.
Bye-bye. Too slow.
I keep losing track because they keep interrupting. I think I'm just going to put him in sleep mode.
Go! Powering down.
They keep interrupting. I wanted them to move while I'm talking, but it's just too distracting. Anyways, yeah, my original two V2s lasted a long time because Kevin and Anthony's original V2, the wires started failing within the first year of owning it, whereas me, they didn't start getting affected until 2011 or 12. They lasted that long. And my neighbor friend Lucas at the time would come over and he'd make them do the lay down and get back up thing. If a V2 has bad wires, that will instantly kill it. Like if you, even brand new V2s that are still new in the box, they're still not going to work. People are like, why do the V2s have bad wires? There's three different things people think. One, it's the grease they use on the wires. Two, people think they get too hot, so the wires get burnt and they get crispy and then they flake out. But that's not true, because if that was the case, that would happen with the black V2 and the RS Media. And the RS Media is takes way more power than a V2. But then again, they did use a lot thinner wires on the older V2s. So I don't know. But the thing is, you know how scary this would be for someone who doesn't know about this issue and buys one from a thrift shop and takes it home and it starts smoking in front of their kid or whatever? Or there's someone who has a silver V2 listed on eBay right now for like $700. It's not rewired and they said it works. Guess what's going to happen if someone buys it for that much? Bad. But this is, and I was going to say, this V2 has the circuit board of a UK V2, and I was going to say, UK V2s have a different board. I just said the dance was kind of different. The audio is different. It's kind of better. And at the end, it does the side to side, so the screen holders don't break. Because sometimes the kicking action, especially when it kicks, its body goes to the side and it kicks. These other V2s, I don't know why they didn't do that. Because this is an earlier model than the black V2. And the black V2, they didn't make it do that. And that's really hard on the screen holders, because once they do that, they stay to the side because they don't go side to side to reset themselves, whereas the UK boards and this one does. And same with the intro. You know how the RS Media, after it does its intro thing, it goes side to side? This V2 does that too, as well as the UK, but all the others don't. So I think the UK ones have a better lifespan because of that. Now, there is a first gen of Robosapien V2 that has a different dance. It's a crappy dance, it's not as professional. So the dance that you normally know and have seen is not the original dance. They changed it because it looks so much better. I'll link you to a video in the description on a video and show you what I mean. I actually have another silver V2, a white V2, and a bronze that's still at Kevin's place that I have to pay for shipping to get them back, but I've been too lazy and buying other things to do it. But my other silver one has the other board in it with the different dance. Like, it plays the same music, but the movements are different. And like I said, I'll link in the description. So this leads me to the conversation. If you can't find a black V2 or a white V2 that works, your other option is buying a V2 there's two people that do a very good job at, they offer a repair service. One of them is 0635, Kevin. The other is Anthony, Project Nova Zero. They both do an amazing job. This one was rewired by Anthony. I've really had no problems with it. The only thing it needs is a new motor for the side-to-side, because in the dance, when it does the wave, the body doesn't really turn. The wires came off the motor a few times, but that happens with anything, really. But other than that, it's lasted me. I'm glad I didn't have to do the repair, because I'm not patient enough, and I would never take the time to do it. Honestly, these wires are long, they have to be just right. It's actually not as easy as you think. I mean, for some people who've been doing it for a long time, yes it is, but for a beginner, no, I don't recommend it. So I recommend going to one of those two people. Kevin does an amazing job. He does a great job at organizing the wires, making sure that they're just organized. I've seen him come a long way, because when Kevin first started repairing V2s, it wasn't officially a repair service, but he used to electrical tape the wires. But then he wouldn't be able to put the butt back on or the side legs because the wires were too thick then. So sometimes he wouldn't have the butt on, or sometimes he'd have to melt a hole through the butt so that the wires could go through the butt. He has been so busy rewiring other people's V2s. He started doing this in 2014 or 15. He hasn't even rewired his own V2 yet. It's still electrical taped and still holding up. He's been rewiring so many other people's V2s that he hasn't even gotten to his own yet. They usually offer around $70 to $80 for a repair, but sometimes they'll make a deal. Like if you have more than one V2 that needs a repair, they'll kind of make a combined deal with you. But I also got to mention this, if you're going to go to them to get repairs, please be nice. They have had some shitty ass customers. Okay, I was on a call with Kevin from start to finish that rewired a yellowed white Robosapien V2. It arrived and it arrived damaged. Kevin fixed it, replaced all the shells with another yellowed white V2. I saw him rewire that thing from start to finish. It got sent back and it was shattered when the guy had it. He got it full on. Like, the guy actually ended up making him cry. It was a situation that was so horrible that it ended up making Kevin cry. There was another thing that he tried. He repairs the RS Medias as well. He tries to. But anyways, there's another thing. I don't know if I think it was a V2 that he repaired. And, you know, he used to have a green chromed Robosapien, which used to be Anthony's, which used to be a guy's before Anthony's. The guy sold it to Anthony, and then Anthony sold it to Kevin, or gave it to Kevin. Something went wrong with the repair or something? Because not always it's going to go right. Something went wrong with the repair, and the guy forced Kevin to give the green Sapien back, or else he was going to get him in trouble. So that sucked. He only has white V2s, white Robosapiens now. He wants other colors. He can't afford to always buy $80 Robosapiens off eBay that he wants, you know. He does this repair service so that he can actually make money, because that's what he likes doing, and then he gets shitty customers like this. He's had a few people that he's done a great job fixing for, and then the kids get them back and they don't work, and then they give him shit about it. When I've seen every V2 he's rewired, every single one has worked. Okay? I'm not just saying this because he's my friend to back up his service. I legit seen them all work. If they come back to you and they're not working, I don't know what's going on. Sometimes maybe you're not checking the AAAs, because sometimes they have trouble with identifying the AAAs. This one does. They all have troubles identifying the AAAs sometimes. It's you gotta just make sure. But yeah, there's been a lot of scenarios have left Kevin crying and not wanting to do the service anymore, because he's had unpleasant customers that were not satisfied. And if you're going to rush him on the repair, I think you need to pay him extra, because he needs to take his time so that he can do a good job, because if you rush him, he's going to mess up something. That's just how it works. So, again, that's another option. He doesn't just repair the wires. He tries to fix other parts. You know, like I said, he offers usually $70 to $80 for a repair. you gotta realize if he doesn't have certain parts for a V2, he has to buy another V2 for spares. So, which can cost anywhere from $50 on eBay to, because they're usually not even cheap, even if they're listed for parts. So you guys, that if you want that fixed, that would cost you. I'm just saying, these are options if you want a working V2. Either look for a black or get another one. Recommended a colored one, not a yellowed white. I mean, if that's the only V2 you have and the only one you know that you'll ever have, then yes, send it and he'll do his best, and I'm sure he can do something to prevent it from. But if a V2 arrives to you damaged, don't blame Kevin. It's the post office. They throw that shit around. It doesn't matter how well you pack something. It'll get damaged as long as you're throwing it around. Like, literally. He had that white yellow V2 packed up very well and it arrived damaged. Even if you write damaged on the box, there's some people that work for the post office that will throw it around on purpose just to piss you off because they think it's funny. You guys gotta keep that in mind. I don't know why you guys don't think of things like this. I'm talking to the people that are impatient and rude, not any of you people that are kind and understand and, you know. But yeah, I just wanted to make a video about that, and I'm gonna show you the dancing on all of them. Now, I was telling you how there's the first generation of a circuit board that has different dance. Those colors come in silver, red, and yellowed white, of course. It's hard finding a V2 with that. It actually is kind of common for the silvers. It's hard to find for reds and yellowed whites. It's a I don't know. Like I said, they've made 3 generations of the yellowed white. Actually, yeah. Because then there's the UK, the one with the side-to-side board, which were released in the US because this one's from the US. The UK ones have like a trash symbol on the backs with an X across it. The UK's only sells the silver, the non-Mark Tilden signature version. It's a lighter silver, red, and yellowed white. That's the only colors the UK has. And those are the only colors that the US has with that kind of board. But again, the red, yellowed white, and silver all will have one of 3 boards. The proto board, we call it, the side-to-side board is what we call it, or the normal board. All 3 of them, those colors. But the blue V2 and the bronze are the only V2s. They're just separate. They don't have other, like, mysterious things about them, really. Actually, the bronze V2 has the 2nd generation the 3rd generation leg caps that snap off. And if you don't notice, the black V2s, or the updated model, have a way better sound quality than the older models. Like, the older models, they're staticky in their dance, and sometimes they're just loud. These ones actually have bass. They're not staticky, even when their batteries are low. And, like I said, they move a lot smoother. They move a little slower in the dance. They're a little more fluid like this, whereas the other ones are like this, or like, you know, all over the place. Yeah, they really tried to improve it. They took their time. Wowwee used to actually take their time to do this stuff. They don't give a shit now. Like, if you go to Wowwee and even mention V2, they get kind of pissed off because they don't want to hear about it because it was a huge fail and they know they fucked up. They just don't want to hear it. My Anthony kept pestering them about bringing it back. They ended up blocking him. They ended up being rude. He's not coming back. Stop asking. They legitimately told that to him. They won't even, like we said, they don't even have to make V2. Just make something similar to it that walks on 2 legs instead of wheels moving it around. Because that's what we like. It wasn't, but it was, you know why they don't make that though? It was never Wowwee. These are Mark Tilden's creations. Wowwee didn't think of this idea. He told them the idea and they liked it and they worked with him for a while. And then he separated after 2009, after he made the Jobot. That was his last robot with Wowwee. So, yeah, I hope this video, you know, helps you. And I was going to say, the bronze V2, Anthony has had every color of the V2 multiple times. He's had the full collection of all the colors. He's had like 3 bronze. He's had like 6 or 8 silvers. He's had about 3-4 reds. He's had blue a total of like 3 to 4 times. and he can tell you exactly what's the difference between all the colors and all that. Because some of them do have, like the blue V2 is the only one that will have one type of board. There's only one model of the blue. But like I said, there's 3 of all the others: the silver, red, and white. The black V2 is the only one, and the white. But the bronze V2, according to him, has even more of a better sound quality than the black. It has more bass. They're not as loud either. They're quiet, but they have a lot of bass. So yeah, I'm gonna turn them on and show you the dance on these together.
Self-diagnostic. Initial self-diagnostic. I am Wowwee Robotics Model Wowwee Robotics Model RS.
This one has trouble with the switch sometimes.
Self-diagnostic. Initiated. I am Wowwee Robotics Model RS-V2.
No! Sorry guys, it had showed that my memory was out, and I freaked out and panicked because I thought it might have like died on half of the thing, like in half, towards half the video, but the memory legitly just ran out as soon as I walked the camera, which is why I said no, so thank God. Anyways, I was going to show you guys the dance of them together, but also I forgot to mention that I mentioned that the Robosapien V2, the 3rd generation Robosapien V2, is made with the identical parts as the media, whereas the others are a little different. There's never been an RS Media scene with a snapped leg, and you're probably wondering, well, if they're the same parts, then why? I'll tell you why. The leg cap on the RS Medias, we call them a leg cap because it holds them on. It's like a 2-part thing. They screw into each other, and it's like a cap. The V2 has black plastic. The RS Media has clear plastic. The black plastic is known to get very brittle as it ages, and it cracks. Like I said, that was my 3rd V2, came and it wasn't broken in the photo, it came with a broken leg, it broke during shipping. My white V2 that Kevin repaired for me, yeah, they interact with each other with their sensors. My white V2 came with a shattered leg and a broken neck gear. There's been so many V2s that Kevin has repaired and Anthony have gotten that have had a broken leg and both have broken neck. Actually, you know what? The 3rd generation, actually, I told you about how their neck gears break if it's because something goes wrong and the board doesn't reach, that their head turns to the side when they do the spare change function, so it broke. If you want, Anthony has a video. One of his black V2s, Kevin put a new neck gear in it 3 to 4 fucking times. And every time it did the spare change, it broke it. That's why he's so low on neck gears, because his Anthony's V2 hogged them all. I'll send you a video to one of Anthony's compilations. He's showing he had 2 black V2s and a red V2 in that video, and he put them in guard mode, and it was programmed to do spare change. It instantly broke, and you hear Anthony scream and yell because it scared him, and he was pissed off. So yeah, and I was going to show you, these are the spring holders that I'm talking about. They often, see, look at this one, see how it's bending up? It's going to snap, so that's why it's not worth fixing this one. So as the body goes, look at how tight these springs are. They're extremely tight, but it has to be. That's what holds the body straight. I've recorded my robots' whole life. I've never used them without turning on a camera. So every time something has broke on a robot, it's always been caught on tape. So one of my RS Media spring holders in the foot broke, which is down here. The back spring holder broke. So it was like this, and I used my blue V2's leg at the time to fix it. Remember, because this is originally a 3rd gen black V2 that I swapped the shell. Well, Kevin replaced the shells for me because after that's when I fried the board. So yeah, that's what the spring holders and the feet look like. They can snap too, but it's not as common as the body. So there's the circuit board. There's the motherboard and there's the daughter board. The daughter board, according to Kevin, is just an extension because they didn't have enough room to put all the wire harnesses on the first board, so they had to extend it and make a second board. And as I'm saying, Kevin does a great job his repair service. I think he has a little more time on his hands to do it than Anthony, but they're both willing to do a review for you, and they're both extremely respectful, and they're really nice people to work with. They try to be very flexible, especially Kevin for sure. He tries to make the V2s exactly how you want them. Like, okay, one of my friends who's also in our group, Chris Arbiter's on. Oh, I think
Understood.
oh, batteries are starting to die. Anyways, one of our friends, Chris Arbiter's honor, like I said, it has my original Red V2 shells on it. He wanted special modifications done to it. He wanted it to have green light up eyes instead of blue. He wanted it to have lights on his shoulders. Well, he originally wanted it in his mouth, but you can't put a light in his mouth because that's where, apparently that's where the remote receiver is. So then Kevin put the lights on the side, so when it talks, it's, no, he put it on the shoulders. When the V2 talks, the lights on his shoulder lights up to the voice. And then he wanted an LED on the head that lights up after he, because there's special things that the board on these have that they didn't do. So like after it flinches, a light turns on. There's a special feature on the board, after it flinches, a light turns on, so it's supposed to, if it was in the dark, it was supposed to be able to read. It was supposed to, and their camera is shit. We all know that. It has to be so bright. The lighting has to be so bright for it to work. The RS Medias are not as picky, but these, he wanted that modification done to it. It didn't really work because it's just a regular LED. But Kevin will do these. I'll send you the link to his V2 in the description. There was 2 modifications done with Chris's V2. The first time he replaced the green. He gave him. I told you I'm distracting. I love how they interact though. It's so fun to watch. It's entertaining. The RS Medias don't even do that. Anyways, when Kevin put the green LEDs in Chris's V2, they weren't bright. They didn't shine through the visor. I mean, you could kind of see them, but they were just so dim looking. That blue and red LEDs are the only LEDs that will shine through a visor. So Chris made a request, remove the visor. So Kevin melted it out because there's no other way to do it. And now the eyes are just so bright and glowing. Like in the dark, it just looks badass. He even put tape across the eyes to make it look like an evil V2. Electrical tape. So if you want special modifications done, ones that are capable of being done, Kevin will do them for you. There's even modifications you can do. Kevin modded his own V2, like he put 3 LEDs on each hand. When the hand moves side to side, they light up. So when it's dancing, it actually looks like it's partying, like a disco. Like it's actually I don't know how to explain it, but it looks amazing. Kevin put red LEDs in the eyes of his V2, and one of his medias, he put blue LEDs eyes in it. And then when Chris came over to my house in 2016, Kevin was also over, he brought his media. He wanted it to have, the media you can actually put LEDs in the mouth. You know where the 3 holes are on RS Medias? I'm gonna stop it. Hold on. You know where the 3 holes are on the RS Medias? He melted holes through those and put 3 red LEDs in that mouth. So now when it talks, the mouth lights up to the word, so it looks like it's actually talking. I've made videos of it. I'll send all that in the link of this description, so you can check out. That's the work that Kevin does, guys. He does amazing work. He deserves more credit than what he gets. He wants recognition for this stuff. He wants people. He wanted to work for Wowwee and fix the robots, but they didn't respond to him. They didn't care enough. They didn't care that he was interested in their old robots. He wants people to come to him so that he can help others fix these robots and enjoy them like they're new. He wants to give people what they want. If someone wants it to have a light up mouth or have blue eye, like a media to have blue eyes, he'll do that for you because he wants you to be satisfied. He wants you to enjoy your robot because he enjoys it. So if he enjoys it, he wants you to enjoy it too. So I highly recommend going to Kevin for, like, Anthony won't really do much mods, so if you're looking for more of mods, Kevin is definitely the person to go to. But Kevin also just does, like I said, an amazing job at rewiring. He has the wires very organized. Anthony and Kevin used to do the repair service together, but it didn't really work out because they had their own preferences on how they wanted to do things. They're both really great, but they work best separate, so yeah. But sometimes Anthony will come to Kevin for help, because sometimes Anthony will be low on parts or something. Actually, Anthony knows how to repair these things, but sometimes he just wants Kevin to fix them too. Okay, well, I pretty much said everything I need to say. I'm just going to show you the dance now. And you'll see how much, well, this black V2's legs don't move nearly as much as my other one that Fry did, the one that's laying on the table. I can send a link to that in the description too. I'm going to do that. But anyways, yeah, the black V2's legs move way more in the dance, and you'll, yeah.
Understood.
The blue one has a problem with the hand. The wires in the cable are getting torn, so sometimes it barely moves. Sometimes it stays to the side, sometimes it stays like this. That's what happens to these two. Kevin is going to have to take a look at that when he comes over again. Anyways, here we go.
Understood.
Oh, the blue one's really low, jeez. See, look at how much more the legs move on the black. If you look at if you look at Chris's channel, which his YouTube name I think I've already mentioned, but it's Arbiter's Honor, he uploaded a video of a silver V2 called Drunk V2. It falls over. The video is originally taken by Anthony, and when it falls over, Anthony's like, fuck. This is that same exact V2. That's why it just fell over. And I'm going to show you them walking for a little bit. And you'll see how the black one walks a little different than the silver or the blue. But since the blue is low, oh my god, when the blue's batteries are charged, it walks amazing. It is the best one I've ever seen. It has the best walking I've ever seen. The motors in its legs are so strong. Like I said, it's 3rd gen part. I think it has different number of gear teeth on the feet, which makes the feet move more than the older models. Because the feet do not move that much, even in the walking on the old V2s. It's just, like I said, their legs lift off the ground, so that makes them walk better. But these ones, the black V2, like I said, they don't lift their legs off the ground when they walk, but their legs move so much, which makes them move a lot further forward than the other V2s. And like I said, I'll start them now.
Vision shut down. Understood. I'm out of here. Straight over there.
Like, even with low batteries, it still walks amazing. I mean, look at that. See how those silvers lifts its legs off the ground, but the black really doesn't? It kind of drags, but the legs move so much more. I don't know. They're both amazing. See, they don't see black obstacles, really. That's the problem with these robots. Yeah, they see that's another thing. The black V2s, they don't, when they flinch in their roaming mode, that makes them immediately exit their roaming mode. These V2s are sensitive, and when they see something that's huge to them, they just freak out and exit roaming mode. Whereas the black doesn't even do that. So, like I said, there are differences. I actually love how the blue is walking right now. I kind of like it walking like that. God, it just bothers me so much watching all my old... The whole time I've had it, the screen holder was bad. His body was always tilted to the side. One leg barely moved. It walked okay, but it just bothers me when the body leans to one side. It would walk, the body would just move to the right and straight, but it wouldn't bend. The body wouldn't tilt to the left when it walked. It bothers me so bad. And due to that, it wasn't able to back up either. You know whose channel I really grew up watching that really inspired me with these robots was iDrum. His roaming video, his video called In Guard Mode, Robot Dance Off, RSV2's and RS Media's first roam in the new house, and Roman. Those were my favorite videos, and they inspired me so much to get a media when I didn't have one yet. And I just loved his videos. Like, a lot of people look up to my channel and love my videos because, yeah, but that's how I looked at his channel. His channel inspired me so much. So if you're watching this, iDrum, shout out to you.
Where's your daddy? What was that?
See, they were great for roaming. They are just amazing. So, again, definitely look into getting... I know it's expensive to buy a V2 and then pay for the repair service, but it's supposed to be guaranteed to last. I mean, if you constantly use it, of course it's going to break within time. But you use it, like, just occasionally, it's going to last you. It really will. These V2s have lasted me a while. V2s really do not break as much as the medias. The medias break a lot more. They have more of electronical issues. Alright, and I have to go, guys. Thank you for watching, and I hope this video was really helpful for you. And you consider a few things. Anyways, bye.
Oh shit! Oh fuck! What the hell?